Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because today we're going to demystify one of the greatest, most fascinating minds in human history. We are talking about the legendary Oracle of Omaha, Warren Buffett. But listen, we aren't just going to look at a giant pile of money. We really want to uncover the mystery behind these findings. How did totally ordinary habits, practiced with just intense consistency, create an absolute financial empire while everyone else was frantically looking for a shortcut? Okay, let's dive into this. Consider a really fascinating paradox. What if I told you that one of the absolute richest people on planet Earth still lives in the exact same house he bought well over 65 years ago? It's kind of a mystery to modern culture, right? We are so conditioned to think that having billions of dollars automatically equals a certain flashy type of behavior. But Buffett? He completely shatters that expectation. Think about it. We expect billionaires to chase private palaces, mega yachts, and over-the-top lifestyles. But Warren Buffett's reality is just entirely different. He still lives in that same Omaha home from 1958. He eats incredibly simple meals. He famously grabs his breakfast from a fast food drive-thru on his way to work. And he drives remarkably practical cars. What this brilliantly shows us is that true wealth isn't about showing off at all. It's about having the ultimate freedom to live life exactly on your own terms. That modest mindset, well, it stems from one really powerful truth he discovered incredibly early on. Money should work for you, not the other way around. It sounds so simple, right? But fully internalizing this concept is the absolute core of his success. In this explainer, we're going to see how he used immense patience and staggering discipline to avoid the trap of chasing quick fixes and instead built an unstoppable engine of compounding wealth. Let's start with Section 1, Origins of an Investor. To understand the billionaire, we really have to go back to the beginning. Born in 1930 in Omaha, Warren was the son of a stockbroker. And his early years are just incredible. At age six, he's buying 6 packs of Coca-Cola and selling the bottles individually for a profit. By age 11, he's buying his very first stock. Get this, by 13, he is literally filing his first income tax return and famously expensing his bicycle because he used it for his paper route. No way, right? And at 14, he had saved enough cash to buy farmland, which he then rented out. He was building businesses and securing passive income long before he even stepped foot in a high school. But it wasn't all just easy wins. There was a really hard lesson at age 11 that ended up shaping his entire philosophy. When he bought those first shares of City Service Preferred, the stock price immediately dropped. Naturally, as an 11-year-old kid, he got spooked. The moment the price recovered just a little bit, he sold his shares to lock in a tiny profit. But then, he watched in absolute dismay as the stock price soared much, much higher than where he had sold it. That sting taught him the ultimate lesson. Patience creates wealth. The best investments consistently reward those who can just calmly wait. Moving right along to Section 2, the value investing transformation. That childhood lesson in patience set the stage for literally everything that followed. But before any investment strategy can work, it needs fuel. And for Buffett, that fuel is knowledge. He lives by the rule, the more you learn, the more you earn. And this isn't just a catchy bumper sticker for him, it's a daily lifestyle. He has this voracious reading habit, devouring annual reports, balance sheets, and financial newspapers day in and day out. While everyone else is looking for a hot tip, Buffett knows that deep, compounding knowledge is the greatest competitive advantage you can possibly have. That relentless thirst for knowledge led him to his mentor, a man named Benjamin Graham, who taught him the core principle of value investing. This is essentially the practice of buying great businesses with strong fundamentals, honest management, and long-term potential, rather than just chasing whatever stock is currently popular. Graham taught him a profoundly simple rule. Don't buy stocks, buy great businesses. And that idea became the rock-solid foundation for Buffett's entire empire. Let's look at how he actually applied that. Back in 1965, Buffett gained control of a struggling textile company. Its name? Berkshire Hathaway. At the time, people thought it was a massive mistake. The textile industry in the US was rapidly declining, but Buffett had a vision. He gradually pivoted the capital away from failing manufacturing, and then he completely transformed the shell of that company into a massive investment holding company. He used the cash flow to go out and buy those great businesses Benjamin Graham told him to look for. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer variety of his success. We're looking at Coca-Cola and consumer brands, American Express, Apple, Bank of America, See's Candies. These aren't just random gambles. They are world-class, fundamental businesses that he bought into and just held onto. This incredibly diverse portfolio is exactly what generated his mind-boggling long-term wealth. Which brings us to Section 3, the patience advantage. Knowing what to buy is really only half the battle. This is where the real mystery of his success lies. You see, standard investor behavior is completely driven by fear and greed. People panic during crashes, blindly follow trends, and endlessly chase quick profits. But while the crowd is panicking, Buffett remains completely calm. While others chase the next big thing, he focuses strictly on value. His true edge in the market isn't just raw intelligence, it's his ruthless emotional discipline. So the crucial point is perfectly captured in this one profound thought. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. By simply refusing to chase quick, emotional profits, he positioned himself to continuously absorb wealth from those who couldn't control their impulses. Think about that. He literally let the impatience of the crowd fund his own patience. Let's look at Section 4, Wealth and Responsibility. If we just stop at the money he accumulated, we completely miss the actual measure of the man. 99%. Just think about that number for a second. That represents the sheer scale of his philanthropy. Buffett has pledged to donate almost his entire fortune, over 99% of it, to charitable causes. He directs his wealth toward improving healthcare, advancing education, and reducing global poverty. He fundamentally believes that massive wealth comes with massive responsibility. To him, money is ultimately a tool for real-world impact, not just a high score in a video game. Let's wrap this up with Section 5, 10 Timeless Success Lessons. So how can we apply this to our own lives? Well, these are the ordinary, consistent habits that create extraordinary success. Let's run through them. Start investing in yourself early. Let patience be your competitive edge. Never, ever stop learning. Spend less than you earn. Always invest for the long term. Avoid those emotional decisions. Build your reputation with honesty. Focus on value over popularity. Think for yourself independently. And finally, use your success to make the world a better place. The big takeaway here is that real success is built one smart decision at a time. Buffett wasn't the loudest guy in the room. He definitely wasn't the fastest. He didn't have some magical crystal ball. He simply stayed calm and patient while others rushed. He kept learning and reading those balance sheets while others got bored and stopped. And he kept investing while others gave up in fear. And this brilliantly illustrates his entire life's work. As he famously said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." It is the ultimate testament to patience, to compounding effort, and to thinking way beyond just tomorrow. The shade you get to enjoy today is the direct result of actions taken years, sometimes decades, in the past. Which brings us to a final question for you to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. What tree will you plant today to build your own shade for tomorrow? Whether that's reading a new book, starting a modest investment, or simply practicing a bit more emotional discipline in your daily life, the habits you start today are gonna compound into your future. Thank you so much for joining me to explore the incredibly structured and patient mind of Warren Buffett. Now go plant that tree today and keep learning.